have points discovered for fast traveling. This is the stable outside of Whiterun, and I understand that every hold to every major zone has a stable and has one of these carriages. You can come up and talk to the owner of the carriage, and you can ask him to take you places.
Where do you want to go?
I'd like to hire your carriage. Where would I like to go? I would like to go to Riften.
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Will do. Climb in the back of it.
If you've never been to Riften, be sure to visit the
And voila.
Blackfire Meadery. A few mugs of that, and you'll forget all.
Oh, I did a little shopping in Whiterun too. I should probably demo an item or two I got, just because maybe handy to know what kind of stuff can pop up in the shop, although I think it's mostly random, so you may not get the chance to get these exact items. Okay, I've arrived in Riften. So, as far as my apparel goes, ooh, and I didn't put it on. I'm actually glad I came in here. So I bought an amulet of Akatosh that makes my magic regenerate 25% faster. And at this point, I got the necromancer robes too in that little cave that I found the fire breath in. At this point, my magic regeneration, I think that's like a full 100%. Excuse me, a full 100% faster, which is just huge for a magic user. That's enormous. It was so difficult to get that kind of stuff in Oblivion, and it so needed it. Of course, I still have the ring, everything else. So I think I have to actually go up to Riften to get...
There. Before I let you into Riften, you need to pay the visitor's tax.
As I was saying, I think I need to go into Riften to get like the point to be able to fast travel here, so I'm going to at least walk into the city. And I'm getting a little flack from the guard. What's the tax for?
For the privilege of entering the city. What does it matter?
This is obviously a shakedown, and that's a persuade option. I can pay him some gold, I can try to intimidate him, or I can just leave. I'm going to try to persuade. This is obviously a shakedown.
Alright, keep your voice down. You want everyone to hear you? I'll let you in. Just let me unlock the gate.
So a little background of Riften. This is actually the home of the Thieves Guild.
The graveyards are some...
And this is where you would go if you were, say, a thief and you wanted to start that quest line. And my primary character is a marksman. I'm kind of going through that quest line, and so far it's some pretty neat stuff. I've just now started to get to quests where I have to strike out all over Skyrim and steal certain things from people and do all kinds of interesting stuff. Okay, Riften discovered, so that's what I was looking for. Now, I'll walk right back out, now that I can fast travel to and from Riften. I guess that doesn't allow or disallow me traveling from it. That's available by default. Oh, I've noticed too, this little tip just reminded me. The tip said an excessively high bounty will cause guards to attack you on sight. I've noticed that with a bounty of like 40 or such, guards won't necessarily come straight at you. They'll approach you and they'll be like, wait a minute, I know you. And if you talk to them, they'll be like, you're wanted, you have a bounty on your head. But like they won't capitalize on it. You can kind of get them to leave you alone. So I'm going to strike out towards Ivarstead. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my journey just because it may be kind of neat to see some of the wildlife, see some of what I might run into. And again, I'm really hoping I can hear like a growl off in the distance and I can find myself a dragon. One thing I do a lot as I travel through the wilderness is look around a lot, and as I see locations on my compass, I won't strike out real far. Like my objective's straight ahead at about a 90-degree angle over there. There's a tower. I don't want to go directly off of my path, but you can see this little tree-looking icon over here. It's not directly off my path. It's kind of just a little out of the way. I'm thinking these guys are bandits. Maybe not. No, they're not. Just hunters. Okay. This little icon's not directly out of my way, just a little off to the side, and I like to just hit points everywhere as I go in my travel. Just sprigging. This could get pretty nasty. Ooh, and down I go. Wow, okay, so That's some of what I was talking about with this being somewhat rough territory. There are tougher creatures over here. That looked like 3 wolves and a spriggan, and those might have even been ice wolves. I don't think they were, but ice wolves are even tougher yet. So, hopefully I'll be at the gate of Riften, and I won't have too terribly far to go. Lydia is with me. I started to question that in the middle of that fight. One thing you'll notice about companions is that notice I've been sprinting here for just a bit. They don't sprint. She's still back there a little ways. And B, they just generally kind of slack behind. Like even when you're just regularly running, if you jump over a rock, they go around the rock. If you jump off a short cliff, they go all the way around the cliff, however far that might be. So they will fall behind a lot. What I should have done before I engaged that little group of wolves and spriggan is stop to make sure Lydia caught up with me at the very least, and then maybe even I don't know, got close enough that she engaged first. Normally I don't have any problem whatsoever with wolves, especially this fire. The way most of your spells work in a cone in front of you, I can kind of wipe out multiple wolves at once, no problem. But having a spriggan there, and I think it was like 3+ wolves, so that's a decent number. That made it a bit too tough for me. I probably could have switched off to my restoration and still survived. What do we got? I see the wolves, I see the spriggan. If I can, I'm just going to circumvent this. Uh-oh. I think they're on to Lydia. They're on to something. Why are they barking? Maybe they're not. This little fox is huffing it. Where the hell did Lydia go? See what I mean? I probably dropped down a little cliff right here, and she got confused. They don't know what they can and can't drop off of, so they'll just not try anything. They'll go running around. That's a pain in the butt, because this little grove is the icon I'm looking at too, and I'd really like to discover the location so that I can fast travel to it in the future. Uh-oh. He howled and he looked my way. I think I'll take that as a sign, and I'll just back off. That does worry me just a touch, though, because in Ivarstead, going up the mountain, there are a couple obstacles on the mountain. The toughest I remember was a frost troll, but frost trolls are kind of tough. And I'm hoping that that won't be all too difficult. Alright. Oh boy, 2 of them. Trying to let my damage over time. Oh boy. Yeah, these... Wow. Oh man. Okay, so it might not be the best idea to come all the way out here just yet. Huh. Alright, well, I think I'm going to stop recording here, and I think I'm going to try a couple more times to get over to Ivarstead, and if I can, great. I'll start recording as I go up the mountain, and we'll check out the challenges on the mountain. And if I can't, then I'll just pick it up as I head to Winterhold, I guess. So, I'll see you guys either in Ivarstead or over near Winterhold. Alright, so I've made it. I've made it to Ivarstead. You can kind of see the path I took. I kind of stuck to the edge of the lake, and then, for the most part, stuck to the river, but mainly stuck to kind of rocky areas. That pretty much kept Lydia from keeping up with me, but it also kept me away from a lot of things. I did have a little battle with a couple wolves and a frost spider at the same time, and was able to barely take them. So with a little bit of fancy fighting, you can get over here at this early a level. And now I'm getting ready to leave Ivarstead and make the high climb all the way up the mountain. The 7,000 steps, it said. Read the etched tablet. Emblem 1. Before the birth of men, the dragons ruled all Mundus. Their word was the voice, and they spoke only for true needs, for the voice could blot out the sky and flood the land. I'm going to get a little bit of a history lesson about High Hrothgar and the Greybeards. Wolves, eh? I have Lydia here, correct? Yeah, although she is lagging behind a little, I'll give her a minute. Gonna reposition so I wasn't flaming Lydia. No need though. The wolf went down. Already doubling back once. A goat? Hopefully he's not one of those vicious mountain goats who will attack on sight. Doesn't appear to be. With my marksman character, I actually met an ice wraith on my way up this path. And since then, I've read that ice wraiths are immune to frost and 33% weak to fire. So that may come in handy. Emblem 2. Men were born and spread over the face of Mundus. The dragons presided over the crawling masses. Men were weak then and had no voice. I'm going to go ahead and slap a quick save in here. Been up a couple steps. Don't necessarily want to have to climb them again. Here's some more wolves. Ooh, an ice wolf. As you see, ice wolves are noticeably stronger. Luckily, my restoration is noticeably stronger. Go down, doggy! Whoo! That took all of my mana. Well, there was a little healing in there too, but... Okay, so, critical success depends on Lydia. If she takes all the damage, I should be fine and should be able to kill about anything. If I take the damage, I'm likely going to die. Heard another wolf howl, so I'm going to slow my roll just a little. I'm going to see if I can get Lydia to get up here. That looks like a regular wolf. I think that's a regular wolf. Lydia, you want to take the lead on this one? There you go. Yeah, regular wolves aren't nothing. And since I gave Lydia my my Thane axe, she does good damage. She takes chunks out of hit points. Scary goat. Let me go ahead and get another quick save. And then let me read another tablet. Oh, hey. I'm going to be a cretin and take the gold out of this bowl. Emblem 3. The fledgling spirits of men were strong in old times, unafraid to war with dragons and their voices. But the dragons only shouted them down and broke their hearts. So in the beginning, dragons were all-powerful. Just having the voice allowed dragons to just do things way beyond the comprehension of men and just absolutely annihilate them in masses. Somebody ought to go through here and count these steps. I don't know if you would count this as 3, 4 different steps, different sections. Because 7,000 sounds like a lot. And I've crossed quite a few, and I've got quite a few more to cross. But man, 7,000. That's a lot of steps. And I guess I'm going through parts where the steps go up and down, just to traverse the diverging terrain of the mountain. So I guess that takes away a little bit from
Keep an eye out for wolves if you're headed up the path to High Hrothgar.
how ridiculously high a count that is. Emblem 4. Kine called on Paarthurnax, who pitied man. Together they taught men to use the voice. Then dragon war raged. Dragon against tongue. So men got the voice and started actually being able to fight the dragon. And I guess once men learned the voice, that began the Dragon Wars, which I've heard about, which other Elder Scrolls lore has referenced.